Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here, and welcome back to System Shock Radio. With these, I went on a little bit of a hiatus, just some stuff going on in my life that I may or may not talk about at some point. But we are back, we are here, and we are ready to go. So let's get right into it with episode 79 of System Shock Radio. And man, 79 episodes already. That is insane. Whether you've been watching since day one or since today, if this is your first time, I want to thank you so much for your support. I love and appreciate each and every one of you in ways that not even words can describe. Without further ado, let's get into it. And we're going to announce what we're going to do for episode 80 coming up next week. Let's start off with I got a few topics for you guys today, and the first thing that we're going to talk about is the upcoming Super Mario Brothers movie, and more Mario as a movie as a concept. But we'll also be talking a little bit about some of the stuff we've seen so far with the movie. So the Super Mario Brothers movie is going to be animated, not like the one from the 80s or 90s, which was live action, but this one's going to be animated, and starring Chris Pratt as Mario. So great, we're off to a great start. The thing about Mario, though, as a character, is that the Mario games are a lot of fun. They're legendary. They're awesome and everything like that. Very cool, very innovative. But I would say, and this is not only my opinion, but a lot of people's opinions, that he is pretty difficult to write a movie for, to have like a full length movie for, because Mario doesn't really talk much. He just he says some stuff sometimes, but he's not like very verbal as a character. And a lot of the Mario games aside from maybe a couple, aren't really that narrative based. Oftentimes it's just Bowser or has help from these people, usually the Koopalings, or sometimes he goes outside the box for help, such as the I forget the exact name of it, but the Rabbit Crew from Super Mario Odyssey. But and he kidnaps Princess Peach, and you gotta go rescue her. Other than that, it's like, okay, go explore, all the levels and everything. So that one's a little bit difficult to have a movie for. And but compared to a game like The Legend of Zelda, Link doesn't really talk either, but oftentimes he doesn't really need to, and the games are usually very narrative driven. That it'd be a lot easier. You have a lot more wiggle room to make a movie about The Legend of Zelda. In fact, I'd love to see a Legend of Zelda movie, but of all the characters that they can make a movie for in video games, I feel like Mario is kind of he's popular enough. It's not an issue of popularity. Like I said, the Mario games are very fun, sell really well, usually really good, but it's a bit tricky to make like a full length movie. I think he does better as like a TV show, like an animated '90s TV show, or like modern day. He did have a '90s show, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show, starring Captain Lou Albano, but I think he would do a lot better as like a Saturday morning kid show. I think that was the word I was looking for, a Saturday morning kid show. But I feel like he'd do a little better as a Saturday morning kid show where he doesn't really talk. And I think another character that would kind of have this same problem, to put in perspective, is like Crash Bandicoot, because he doesn't really talk, and when he talked in Skylanders, it was kind of a capital offense. But so far, from what I've seen in the trailer, I didn't really see a whole lot, because I don't really like to watch movie trailers. I like to go into it almost completely blind. I get like a general idea of what's happening, like who's the hero, who's the villain, all that. And so I didn't really see too much of the trailer, and I didn't really catch how the characters sounded for the trailer. I more so just looked at some of the visuals and stuff, and the visuals do look very nice. And I'm expecting a lot of video game references and potentially a lot of fun, but I don't know. I'm a little on the fence with that. I feel like I said, there's a lot of other characters that can have good movies based on their video games, such as like Legend of Zelda movie, or a Metal Gear Solid movie, or even a Call of Duty movie. But They went with Mario, so maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll prove me wrong. We'll see. He only one way to find out, and that's to watch it when it comes out. And uh, also, don't let me sway you from watching this movie. If you're excited for the movie, be excited. Yeah. Don't let me or someone else scare you off. If you're excited for the movie, then you're excited for the movie, and definitely go see don't let just one man's opinion, aka mine, sway you from this movie. I saw some of my friends and some people saying they were excited for the movie based on the trailer, but I am kind of interested to see how this movie plays out. Next thing I want to talk about, and this was actually written a little while ago, but now I can talk about the show as a whole. Oh, and that is Extreme Rules 2022. I was more so going to talk about the match card, and how stacked it is. But now that the pay per view was last night, I can talk about the actual show. I'm not gonna lie. This might. I'd make the argument that this is probably the best show that WWE's had in 2022. If not the best, at least in like top three. Because man, the show was awesome. Like you knew it was gonna be great going into it with all the stipulations they had. At every match was a stipulation match involving like weaponry and stuff, and they did not disappoint. And a lot of good stuff. Starting off with the Donnybrook match between the Brawling Brutes and Imperium. I kind of went halfway into it because I was just getting off work and I had to do some shopping first, so I kind of got into it late. But from what I did see, it was very physical and a lot of good stuff, and the Brutes picking up the win, which was nice. Then we had the match with Ronda Rousey and Liv Morgan, the Extreme Rules match, which thankfully they didn't do what they did with like say Bailey versus Alexa Bliss back in 2018 it was, where Bailey was like afraid to hit Alexa Bliss with weapons and stuff like that. Of course, modern day Bailey, he would have no problem. This was back when like Bailey was like the face, like the white meat, eat baby face, hero to the children and everything. I'm kind of glad they didn't do that with Liv Morgan. She actually used weapons. He did some brutality on Ronda Rousey, and Ronda actually picked up the win, which I was a little surprised about. But man, Liv Morgan's time as SmackDown Women's Champion. It was okay for the most part. I wish it could have been a little bit better. And her tapping out to Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam as she was pinning to actually win, I think got people off on the wrong foot, and they slowly started to turn on Liv from there. Or she did do okay. She I think she played the underdog role relatively well in her bouts against Shayna Baszler, Clash of the Castle, and stuff like that. But I do wish her time as champion was a little bit better. I have the feeling that Ronda Rousey is probably not going to hold on to the title for very long. She's probably going to pass it off to someone else, perhaps, possibly Shayna Baszler, which I wouldn't mind seeing. Uh, the next match was the strap match between Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross. Uh, pretty good, pretty solid match. Kross actually getting the win with some interference from Scarlett, but you kind of saw that coming. She maced Drew McIntyre, or like pepper spray, and Kross ended up getting the win that way on McIntyre, or which finishes like that, I think, do work. So it can be hit or miss, and here I think it worked for the most part. It showed how much of a factor Scarlett is. Kross gets the win, and Drew McIntyre, because he lost due to interference, it doesn't hurt his stock that much. Um, Next up was the ladder match between Bianca Belair and Bailey. Not gonna lie, I kind of more so had to listen to this match instead of like actually watch it like with my eyes and everything, because I was cooking dinner at the same time. But from the tidbits I saw, pretty good. Bianca Belair walking out with the win, still Raw Women's Champion. The I Quit match between Edge and Finn Balor. First things first. Finn, what the heck was that mask you were coming out with? Apparently, it was a Kanye West which, oh boy, but Finn, no, it looks stupid. It reminded me of when Cross was dressed in that stupid gear last year. All that stuff was terrible, and this mask looked really, really weird and really, really dumb. But the match itself was still really, really good, and Edge only saying I quit because they were threatening to hurt Beth, and then they end up hurting her anyway. Pretty much, they what I liked is that, and this is definitely something Triple H definitely could do. They pretty much replicated what they did with the Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso match at Hell in a Cell 2020, where Jey only said I quit because Jimmy was getting hurt, and they got away with it because it still worked. And no AJ Styles, which I'm surprised he wasn't out there, but I guess they're still doing the whole AJ Styles might be joining the Judgment Day thing. Ray did help out a little bit, still not able to strike his son Dominic, and Michael Cole definitely went off on commentary. And a lot of people talk about how they appreciate Michael Cole. I have just about always appreciated Michael Cole for the most part, except when he was being obnoxious as a heel in like 2011. But then again, he was just doing his job, and even as a heel, he got booed, so he did what he had to do. He did what he was supposed to do, that is. But definitely in this match, he did really good. And speaking of which, they switched up the commentary teams. So Michael Cole and Corey Graves are going to be calling pay-per-views. It's going to be let me look it up. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about the rest of the card, which there's only one match left, and that's the Fight Pit match between Matt Riddle and Seth Rollins, with Daniel Cormier as the special guest referee. That was a pretty good match. Seth Rollins showing up in his Rob Van Dam gear. Enjoy it, people, because that's as close as we're getting to Rob Van Dam versus Matt Riddle, at least while Rob Van Dam is in his prime. But yeah, so pretty good. So pretty awesome pay-per-view. And then at the end, Bray Wyatt. Whoo! Yes. Like, literally everything about the. Let me see if I can get like actual names in like a concise where it actually shows. But man, how they did Bray Wyatt with it, and the teases that they did like pretty much all week, and then a couple weeks before with the White Rabbit and everything was perfect. The comeback was perfect. The Firefly Funhouse characters coming to life, and the and Bray Wyatt unveiling himself in the actual Funhouse with the cobwebs and everything on it. Oh, it was so perfect. And Bray Wyatt is so incredibly creative, and this proves it even more. And the people went nuts when they saw him, and so did I. Like, as soon as the lights went out, I got excited. Everybody pulled out their phones with the flashlights. It's like the Fireflies. Oh, it was perfect. Oh, it was perfect. But yeah, so here's the commentary teams. Michael Cole and Wade Barrett on SmackDown, which Wade Barrett, I think, did a pretty good job in NXT. He a little bit obnoxious, but I get he's trying to be like the heel commentator, but I think that would be a pretty good team. And it's funny that Michael Cole's now teaming with Wade Barrett on commentary, and then Michael Cole back then used to call some of Wade Barrett's matches when he was wrestling. Samantha Irvin is staying as the ring announcer, and then Kayla Braxton and Megan Moran will be backstage interviewers, which that really didn't change. That's pretty much kept the same. They were already like backstage, and then Samantha Irvin was already doing the announcing and everything. And Raw, we have Kevin Patrick and Corey Graves. Jimmy Smith is leaving WWE, which is a bit unfortunate. And Mike Rome is going to be the ring announcer. Mike Rome I do like. And then Kathy Kelly and Byron Saxton are going to be doing the on-screen interviews for Raw. Kathy Kelly is returning. And I think I think backstage interviews work a lot better with Saxton, because Saxton usually cheers on more like the faces and everything, and that can get a little annoying. So here it's going to be like more leaning towards face, but in like a more of like smaller doses, which I think works. And then on NXT, it will be Vic Joseph and Booker T. Vic Joseph, I think, does a really good job, but I love Booker T on commentary. If you've never heard Booker T on commentary, it is a treat. And this is gonna be this is gonna be interesting. And Pat McAfee's gonna be returning next year. Nigel McGuinness unfortunately got released. He did the commentary for NXT for a little while and NXT UK. Hey, but yeah, so pretty good commentary teams. Now we just need the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mauro Ranallo. If we get Mauro Ranallo back, Triple H will have done it again. But that was Extreme Rules as a whole. Going back to Extreme Rules, really solid pay per view, really solid match card. We knew it was gonna be good going into it, and it did not disappoint. Like I said, I'd make the argument this is probably the best W pay per view that they've had this year, if not in at least in like the top three. The next thing I want to talk about, because it is the Halloween season, it's October, and I haven't too much Halloweening, but because it is the month of October, it's Halloween season and everything, I figure I might as well talk about some of my favorite Halloween movies, which I'm actually going to review a couple of these I'm going to mention. And a lot of these I watched when I was a kid, and I can't wait to rewatch them for a review this month. So we got like The Nightmare Before Christmas, which honestly is kind of both a Halloween and a Christmas movie, which is fun that it bridges the gap. Monster House, one of my all-time favorites, and me and my sister used to watch the crap out of that movie when we were younger. I love that movie so much. It's so cool with like the claymation and everything. I think that movie's claymation. I will look that up, but it kind of has like, if not claymation, then it has that like claymation style almost, or is it CG? It might be CG. Yeah, it's CG. So, oh, never mind. It's not claymation, but it kind of does have some of that like tendencies a little bit, which isn't a bad thing. Claymation is always really good. And speaking of which, Coraline, I love Coraline. Definitely got to watch that again this Halloween season. Not really horror movies. Not really my thing, but I just like Halloween movies in general. And of course, one of the best of all time, Hocus Pocus. Oh, can't wait to see that as well. So we are going to be watching and reviewing some Halloween movies this month here within the Nigelverse, which I hope you guys are excited for that. The next thing I want to talk about is a question. And this may be an interesting one, and I think it's something that people have alluded to in the past, but I want to talk about here, and that is, should Tony Khan be an on-air character within AEW? So, for those of you who don't know, Tony Khan is the president of AEW, owner and everything, and for the most part, while he's appeared on camera multiple times, he hasn't really appeared in like a character capacity. He's more so just appeared there when they needed to talk about stuff. Good and bad, but not in like a character capacity, such as like Mr. McMahon in the Attitude Era, or Eric Bischoff in WCW, or like Stephanie McMahon and Triple H, the Authority. Not like that, but more or so just like the actual president. But would you guys like to see him be an on-air character, like authority type figure on air? Honestly, it's something that's like I mentioned, it's been done before a lot, but usually when things are done before, it's because those things work, and on-air authorities usually work, whether they're like the face authority figure that the heels try to challenge and everything, or like a heel authority figure for the baby face to overcome them putting every obstacle in the way. I think it could work, and with a lot of the stuff happening in AEW, which nope, can't get into that yet. But with a lot of things happening in AEW, I think this would be as good a time as any for perhaps Tony Khan, at least on TV and off TV, honestly, to like lay down the law and say, hey, no, AEW wrestlers, you will not run this place. The inmates will not run the asylum. I will be on TV, and I will be taking care of things on TV. And he'd be perfect to oppose like MJF, who called him out on air, I think. And I think that's where a lot of people thought that story might have been going. But for now, it looks like they made a change trajectory. And I think they might have turned MJF face, or they might be trying to turn MJF face. No, stop that. Stop that right now. MJF was not meant to be a face. I said it before, and I'll say it again. MJF is not supposed to be a face. This man was born to be a heel. Oh, stop that. Stop it. Stop it. But yeah. So let me know in the comments below. Do you guys want to see Tony Khan as an on-air character? Right, and like I said, on-air characters, they've been done before, and they've been hit or miss. Some of them really haven't been that great. And one of the ones that comes to mind is like John Laurinaitis and the Authority. Except when they were doing like the stuff with Daniel Bryan, but. Yeah, would you like to see Tony Khan as an on-air character? And the last thing I want to talk about is comparison. They say comparison is the thief of joy, and that is definitely the case a lot of times. So, let's say you've got a car, and it's a nice car. You take care of the car, you drive from point A to point B. But then you look at someone and they may have what you consider like a better car, or now you're upset with your car because you see what someone else has. And that's the problem that a lot of us face, is that we have stuff that makes us happy and that we enjoy, but because it's not um, then we get upset. We try to keep up with the Joneses, but sometimes what we have to realize is that what we have for a reason. And the car that gets you point A to point B, not to say you shouldn't want a better car, or you shouldn't get a better car. If you want a better car, or then get a better car, but don't do it because someone else has a nice car. Or be happy with what you have, and do something not because you saw that someone else has different, or what you may perceive as better or than what you have, but because you want it. And I feel like with a lot of stuff in life, we compare it to what others are doing, and that's where a lot of us get stuck at, and where a lot of us get upset at is because we have this, but it's not this thing that this other person have, and it upsets us and it saddens us. Comparison, and the reason comparison is the thief of joy, because we can't be happy because we're envious of what another person has. But may I submit to you that when you're happy with what you have and happy with yourself and everything, and the other stuff will just be other stuff, just background. But focus on you and what you're doing. But nevertheless, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on bell notifications so you know whenever I drop a video, so you can see it as soon as it drops. And I will see you guys later. Peace.